the ultimate agent of the future, the agent that's going to last the next 5 to 10 years and be able to beat out the big box shops like your Zillows and your Amazons, they're going to have to make sure that the consumer has a virtual option and a physical option when it comes to meeting with their agent and all of the other ancillary businesses that run parallel to the real estate transaction. So that's what I'd like to get into a little bit today.
Rockstar Nation, thanks so much for listening. Don't forget to stay to the end, where our guests will be offering a free gift. As you know, all of our guests offer a free gift, and all of these gifts can be found on the Agent Success Toolbox. You could find that by going to hibandigital.com/toolbox or simply texting the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox to 444-999. I am going to put today's free gift in today's show notes, but if you want all of them, including gifts from most of our guests that have come on the show, just go to the Agent Success Toolbox.
Hey, Real Estate Rockstars, this is Aaron Amuchastegui. I am so excited to be able to share this next show with you. We just got done recording. I got to talk to Jeff Cohn, who was the biggest agent in the world for Berkshire Hathaway, recently just switched over to Keller Williams. He talks on here about going from being an agent and working super hard for 6 years, doing all the door knocking signs, all that hard work, and how now he has tons of different ancillary businesses, has done $1 billion in sales, and really now the sky is the limit. So he wants to make sure that every agent goes from being an agent to becoming an entrepreneur, becomes being a business owner, and he's going to walk you through how to do that. Lots of great stuff in there. We had so much fun just unpacking some different ideas for how to succeed, and it was just fun getting to catch up with him. So I hope you really love this podcast. Be sure to go give us a review, reach out to me and Jeff on Instagram, let us know that you enjoyed listening to it, and here we go.
So the big question is this: how do most agents who don't have access to the secrets that the top agents in our industry hoard to themselves grow and prosper in today's real estate environment? That's the question. And this video podcast is the answer. I'm Pat Hyben, and welcome to Real Estate Rockstars. Do the math. It's worth every single dollar. That's a title of a comment that I got on my certified listing agent course from Rebus University. It's from Bill Reeg. This is what Bill says. Bill says, looking to take your listing presentation to the next level? I've closed 100 appointments since I took Pat's certified listing agent course. 5 appointments, 5 new clients, 60 days. Boom. Do the math. It's worth every single dollar. Thanks, Bill. But listen, guys, I am offering this to you if you haven't already taken it, because so many brokers and teams make their agents take it before they do a single listing appointment. But if you haven't taken it, you can go to rebusuniversity.com and get it now. Now, here's the thing. For 30 days, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you that course. I'm going to give you the buyer agent course, which teaches you how to close every single serious buyer that calls on the phone or emails. The certified team agent course is taught by Jeff Cohn, one of America's top agents, on how to build a team from zero to hero to hundreds and hundreds of units every year, step by step. It's like a 12-hour course, plus 7 other courses. Yes, you heard that right. All for a measly $127 a month. If you were to go to Rebus University and buy these courses individually, it costs you over $10,000. But today, if you go to futureofrealestatetraining.com, that's futureofrealestatetraining.com, you'll learn what Bill Reeg did, which is how to close 100% of the listing appointments you go on. Quite impressive. And you'll learn all the other incredible details provided in the 11 5-star courses that are offered. Yeah, it's like all you can eat bazaar. You go in now and you pay $127 a month. If you can eat all 11 courses in 1 month, that's all you pay is $197. This is a bargain, guys. Get it now. Futureofrealestatetraining.com.
Welcome back, Real Estate Rockstars. I am so pumped today to get to catch up with my good friend, Jeff Cohn. Jeff has been on the Real Estate Rockstars podcast several times. If you sign up for Rebus University, and he's in there teaching some of the courses that are in there, runs the biggest real estate office in Omaha. So much has changed since the last time we've had him on here. Jeff and I, we got to meet several years ago and talk about real estate and house flipping and things like that. And so I just want to jump right into it. Jeff, tell us what's new since the last time you were on Real Estate Rockstars, and maybe catch everybody up, tell them a little bit about your business.
Cool, man. Thank you so much, first off, for having me on. I'm really excited to be here again. I know I've been on with Pat a few times in the past. The first thing is we were awarded last year the #1 team in the world within the Berkshire Hathaway network. So that was really exciting news.
Yeah.
And so with that, Gary Keller was heavily recruiting our Berkshire team to come over to Keller Williams. And we just officially announced the month of December at FutureCon in Las Vegas that we are starting a market center in West Omaha for Keller Williams called KW Elite. But the interesting thing, Aaron, and what I want to get into today is I'm not interested in getting into the real estate business. KW Elite will not be necessarily just a real estate company. It's a technology company that happens to focus on business consulting, coaching, and training to help entrepreneurs scale their business. So I would like to talk the next 15 or 20 minutes with you today about the different ways a residential agent should choose to be an entrepreneur to scale their business. Because too often I feel like as agents, we're just looking at where do I get my next listing? Where's the next buyer coming from? But the ultimate agent of the future, the agent that's going to last the next 5 to 10 years and be able to beat out the big box shops like your Zillows and your Amazons, they're going to have to make sure that the consumer has a virtual option and a physical option when it comes to meeting with their agent and all of the other ancillary businesses that run parallel to the real estate transaction. So that's what I'd like to get into a little bit today.
Dude, that is so awesome. I mean, that is what we get to talk about today. I saw, it was funny because I was like, I was just scrolling through the news, and it said, Berkshire Hathaway, biggest office switch over to Keller Williams. And I was thinking, that's Jeff. So I texted you right after and said, we got to catch up. We got to talk about it. So well,
and it was funny, Aaron, because it got politicized too a little bit. Warren Buffett had just lost out on a $5 billion acquisition. And so someone writes this article as if me leaving was as bad as a $5 billion acquisition not going together. And everyone's comments are hilarious because my team had done like $120 million in 2019. And they're like, $5 billion acquisition, losing a team that does $120 million, which all of us know that doesn't mean any, you only capture through 2.8% of the $120 million. So we're talking like $2.8 million GCI, of which Berkshire only keeps 6% royalties. Like they're trying to compare the two to use it as to politicize the story. But hey, I didn't argue because it ended up making Fox Business News.
Yeah, dude. So when I see my buddy Jeff on Fox Business News, I'm like, this is freaking awesome. So KW Elite, new system, technology. What does that mean? When you're saying because I think, one of the things that happened to me when I first was flipping, right? 2009, 2012, made a whole bunch of money, but didn't really set that aside for entrepreneur. It was like, as soon as I stopped working, as soon as I stopped flipping, I ran out of money. You're talking about becoming an entrepreneur, setting other things down. So what does KW Elite mean? And then what's that strategy to get to entrepreneur?
Yeah. So there's several things there with your comment, and I find this happened to me a lot in the past as well. If you're the one, anyone listening is the one who keeps the plate spinning, and you stop spinning the plate, of course the plate's going to fall. The focus is to find someone else to spin the plate.
Yeah.
If you don't have someone else spinning your plates, then you will always spin them. And people always wonder, well, how does Aaron travel the country and buy these properties and get into all these investments and run a podcast? And how does Jeff Cohn have all these different businesses? Well, Jeff Cohn and Aaron aren't doing all of this, guys.
Right.
Newsflash, there's a lot of other people, hundreds. I have hundreds of people and maybe thousands if you start bringing in all my virtual callers and affiliate partners that are helping spin all these plates. So KW Elite is the hub. It lives in Omaha, Nebraska. From the hub, there's a myriad of services. First, we'll call them hub services. So every business in real estate and outside of real estate needs several components. One, a client relationship management software. Two, analytics that track all the sales. So your KPIs, ROIs, ROTs, return on time, and all of the other analytics that one would use to choose how to deploy their capital in the best places. Essentially, the hub will offer 200 different a la carte services to businesses in Omaha and across the country in real estate and outside of real estate. An example could be a virtual caller. Show me a business that couldn't use a virtual caller to try to drive more business. Our hub will provide a virtual caller solution to any business in Omaha, Nebraska, or across the world. and we'll outsource those virtual callers with either my call center in the Philippines or several different call centers that we have located within the United States, depending on the consumer's needs. So I could go on, but we won't go through all the examples. Lead generation, again, the CRM, marketing materials, and so on. The second thing would be all the ancillary businesses. So within my office at KW Elite, we will have mortgage, title, insurance, and I own all those third-party ancillary businesses that were created to better serve the consumer and give them a one-stop shop solution. But I don't end at just Omaha. The world is so small today because of the way that technology connects us. And so I'm looking for partners, and this goes out to anyone listening today. If you can control over $10 million or more in volume on the buy side, meaning you can direct it to your mortgage lender and or our mortgage lender located in Omaha, you would be a great candidate for launching your own mortgage business. So one could partner with us in mortgage and in insurance anywhere in the country. We source all the deals here in Omaha, and then you get to keep a percentage of the revenue through the operating agreement.
Yeah, so, you are just absolutely, crushing it. So people when they're first starting, they say, all right, so that's a great goal to get to. So somebody goes, no, I want to be able to own my construction company. And you're talking about you own a call center, a construction company, a mortgage company. Do you have a title company?
Yeah, we have everything.
That is freaking awesome.
Property management. We have our coaching arm, Elite Real Estate Systems, which is the shirt I'm rocking for those watching. We launched 4 years ago, where we offer essentially virtual coaching, modern coaching for the modern agent, where we put people into groups of 100, 150. And that's 12 hours of content a month. You can find info on that online at eliterealestatesystems.com. And then we have our investment company, Aaron, that you helped Clint and I get off the ground. We buy over 100 houses a year in Omaha. All of these live in one location, but we are now, and this is what I announced a month ago, expanding all of these businesses all across the country with the right expansion partners.
Dude, I want to talk about that for a second. So because one of the things we want to maybe teach some people in the few minutes that we have is how do they go from being an agent to launching their first ancillary or their second ancillary. 4 years ago, Jeff reached out to me, and him and his partner, they had a big real estate company, and they said they wanted to start a flipping company. And so the stages and the processes, and I'd love to hear more about that processes, but he reached out to a couple people they knew were flippers. I was one. There were some other friends out in California and maybe all over the U.S. He went and he spent a few days to study different people's businesses, go through, how they work. And then he took all those different businesses, formed his own, and then started that. So Jeff, what did you do in that process? How many houses did you flip in the first year?
Aaron, let's capture the process you just outlined. Only 1% of people would ever do what Clint and I did. And I know you would be in that 1%, and hopefully a lot of our podcast listeners today are in that 1%. But we physically traveled from Nebraska. We took an airplane to California. We met with several top investors all around your area. Maddie Aitchison was another one of them. Daniel Ramsey, yourself, and a handful of others. And our number one goal was to learn from the top investors in the country. We didn't want to make the same mistakes that the other investors were making. But of course, every market's different. Everyone's strategy is different. So our goal was to obtain as much knowledge as possible. You see this bookshelf behind me? I've read hundreds of books, listened to thousands of podcasts, and met with, most importantly, a lot of the top people in all the industries that I now own. I know all the top players and what they're doing. And so all it is looking for patterns from people that have already gone before you and being willing to take the time to educate yourself and then systematically deploy different strategies, but track everything so that with each and every step where you're going wrong and what's going right. Double down on the things that go right and get rid of the things that go wrong or tweak them so that they go right.
tribeofmillionaires.com. Guys, write that down. Rockstar Nation got a free special offer for you. Now, I've just written a book, and it's just been published. Co-authored it with David Osborne, who's been on this show multiple times. If you don't know David, he is one of the top execs at Keller Williams Real Estate, was personally mentored for the last 2 decades by Gary Keller himself, and he's in all kinds of businesses. His bio and explanation and everything is in this book. But anyways, David and I got together. We decided to write a book. We called it Tribe of Millionaires. And I guarantee you it's going to change your life. To find out more, just go to tribeofmillionaires.com. We're going to give it to you absolutely free. Only thing we ask in return is, of course, number one, you pay the shipping. Not a big deal. But number two, that you go on Amazon and write us a review. We're really looking to get an incredible amount of reviews. And because of that, we're giving this book away for free. Go to tribeofmillionaires.com today. Hey, real estate agents and rock stars. If you're getting value out of the content in this episode, make sure you like the video and subscribe to this channel. Also, click the little bell icon to be notified about upcoming episodes. And I would also love it if you left a comment and shared the most impactful tips and tactics you've learned from the knowledge shared in this episode, or even maybe make a suggestion requesting a topic of what you'd like to learn in future episodes. I welcome any feedback below. Now, back to the episode.
Yeah. How many flips did you do the first year? How many flips did you do last year?
The first year we started, we maybe did 3 or 4, and then it bounced up to like 12 or 13, and then it went to about 30 or 40. Last year we were at 75. This year we're on track. We'll do over 100. But when we say flip, there's actually 6 different options when we get into a property. And there's a whole podcast I do on this with Clint Bartlett, my business partner. Number 1 is pass on the deal. Number 2 is list it traditionally. 70% of the appointments we go on decide to list traditionally. They're not even flipping. They don't even want to sell it at a discounted price. 3 is wholesaling it. 4 is wholetailing it, where we close and put $1,000 in. And then 5 would be a traditional flip. And then 6 is hold it as an investment. And our goal is to hold everything, but not everything makes for a great hold. And the interesting thing we learned from this that I'd love the audience to listen to is that we found that we made the same margin wholetailing as we did flipping. So what I mean by that is if we've been acquiring for about 25 to 40% below market value in the Omaha area. And we found that we could make $22,500 just putting it on the market, close, put $1,000 in, clean it up, empty the house out, whatever, put it on the MLS at a not in show ready, amazing condition, just selling it as is. We made the same margin as going in and putting $50,000 into the house, marketing it the right way, staging it, making it look beautiful. We'd make $22,500. So if we're making the same net dollar amount, why not go the route where it doesn't cost us $50,000 and it doesn't take us 3 additional months? And so we've been doing a ton of those wholetails.
That sounds like that's the course we need to get you to come back on Rebus and do, is how to wholetail a deal. That sounds very cool. That is super awesome when you talk about. So the goal is hold everything, but not everything works out to be a hold. That is so smart. The first few years of real estate, I just flipped, and then when I lost all my money, I was like, why didn't I keep some of these? Now I buy hold. Now I've got 300 rentals. Now I feel like, oh, I've done it right. But I love that as a metric. Hold everything unless you can't. Then you flip and you make your money on those. That's perfect.
The wealth is not created in printing money. Wealth is created in holding assets that create residual revenue. This is like, economics 101. You read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and Kiyosaki obviously talked about debits and credits. Is that a debit or is it a credit? And so agents, we're notorious, residential agents, to just printing money. Oh, I made 100,000. I made 200,000. I made 300,000. I don't care how much money you made. How much did you earn in assets that create residual revenue? That's the conversation that you should be having. And if you're not having that, you're never going to be the rich dad.
Yeah, what's on that net worth sheet? If somebody joins KW Elite, they call you, or somebody's interested, what's that first thing that you're going to teach them, or what's that first step of transitioning from an agent to an entrepreneur?
Yeah, so number 1, we would take them through what we call agent launch. And agent launch is kind of that entrepreneurial download where we say to them, hey, welcome to our organization. You're no longer a real estate agent. You're a business person. You're an entrepreneur. You need to focus on today, never selling another house again. Now, we know you asked about my evolution of visiting you to now we're at about 70 doors. And then, of course, the evolution of I started selling as an individual agent. I lived in a 1-bedroom apartment, had a brand new baby girl, Jocelyn, who's now 14. Got my real estate license back in 2007, started from scratch, $50,000 in student loan debt. My plan was to use credit cards until I had to file bankruptcy or make real estate work. So, I've come in like 14 years, quite a long ways. And there's obviously a step-by-step process. If anyone wants to download that, I have a few little links I'm going to send you guys to. Go to jeffsbusinessplan.com. And it's a PDF download of exactly the steps I took to take my real estate team from 70 to over 700 unit sales in 6 years, which I believe made us the fastest growing residential real estate team in history. 70 to 700 sales in 6 years. And so where I continue to grow, Aaron, and this is now getting into more of your question, was always looking at who are the best people around me to do certain activities. So you got to meet my business partner, Clint Bartlett. He's also my best friend. He was working an 8 to 5 at Conagra Foods, and they were in the process of laying a lot of people off. He didn't think he'd get laid off, but he was done working inside of that corporate arena where there's a glass ceiling, getting 3% raises every year and small little bonuses. And I said, dude, I was like, we could be millionaires in a very short time just in that one business venture. Let's try it out. And so in the beginning, it was like testing it part-time nights and weekends. And then he quit his job and went full-time a couple years ago. So the progression is simple. In any business venture that you're getting into, it could be selling flowers, it could be running a Jimmy John's, it can be flipping houses, it can be holds, whatever it is. You have to start small and then track everything and scale. So everything you do, if you can't, people talk about the 10X factor. I say push that to the side. It's the 100X factor. If the business venture you're getting into can't grow 100 times the first year's sales, earnings, whatever you want to look at, then you shouldn't get into that business, in my opinion. And so most everything I've had someone come to me with is scalable. You might have to think outside your city to be able to accomplish it. But to me, the effort you put in, what I've experienced with my real estate team as an example, going from 70 to 700, the effort it takes to do 70 deals, it's not 10 times harder to do 700. It's 3 times harder. And so where a lot of people get lost is that final last step. Have you ever seen the meme? I've seen it on Instagram a lot with this like miner hitting a rock, and there's a tiny little thin piece of rock, and right behind it is diamonds. And he turns around all hunched over and sad, and all he had to do is swing it one more time. So yeah, exactly. Dude, just a little bit further. And that's been my experiences as I push through, then I can break into that next echelon of success.
Yeah. So as we take a step back to, a lot of our listeners are newer agents and figuring out that. So now as they can set up their vivid vision and say, eventually I want to have a company where I do this, this, and this. And my first step is going to be, to expand into this or this. But how about before that? As they're trying to figure out how to get their listings, what's the best trick to get a listing? What's the best trick to be a good buyer's agent?
The difference between you and me are the books that we read, the people we meet, and the podcasts we listen to. So number one, if you want to be a stronger leader, become a stronger leader. And you become a stronger leader through learning and growing and applying and leading. And you have to be willing to fail. I lived for 2 years down in Brazil as a missionary and had to learn to speak fluent Portuguese and felt like a complete idiot for 6 months talking with 5-year-olds trying to piece together sentences in Portuguese. Today, I'm fluent in Portuguese. It just took me 6 months and I was speaking fluent Portuguese, but I had to be willing to look stupid a lot. And too often we want to look cool. We for whatever reason, we're socialized to not make mistakes. We don't want to look like idiots, right? We're always scared what people around us are going to think. I posted a video, go to my Facebook page. I posted a video of myself falling on my hot tub deck last year.
Dude, I love that.
It was black ice. Because it's hilarious, right? Like we have to be able to laugh at ourselves. Thank you. That's what everyone tells me. It's pretty ridiculous. It looks like a cartoon character. I throw my water. So my point is, like, calm down. Everybody needs to just calm down. Like, be the best version of yourself. You don't need to prove anything to your dad. You don't need to prove anything to the boss that didn't hire you or fired you. All you have to do every single day is wake up and ask yourself, how am I going to become better today than I was yesterday? How am I going to impact somebody else's life? How am I going to change my own life? And just work a little harder and don't be hard on yourself. It's a journey. It takes a long time. And you might never be like me when you grow up. And I might never be like Tony Robbins when I grow up. And that's okay. All that matters is that you're the very best version of yourself.
Dude, I love that as advice. And yes, I loved being able to watch your video where you totally fell down on the ice going to your hot tub and you shared it with the world to say, like, look at this. I like to tell people when they're getting started, like, hey, just be honest. Like, it's okay to tell people, like, it's my first deal. This is my first, or I've only done a few. Like, you don't have to, it's the same thing. Like when we're doing, I had sent one of my employees to go to an eviction hearing. I said, tell the judge it's your first time. Like, tell everybody, like, hey, honestly, I haven't done this before. I'm not quite sure how. People will help you. Agents will help you. You tell people, like, hey, I'm new at this. What advice you give me? People will reach out.
Sure.
Go ahead.
I know we're at closing, but I want to answer your question. I only answered a little piece of it. You asked me for those newer agents that are listening. And guys, and gals, I was one of those newer agents. 2006, I received my real estate license. 2007 was my first full year. I sold for 5 straight years. I made that my number one goal, my number one focus, and poured 80 hours a week into selling residential real estate, going on listings, knocking doors, calling expireds, calling FSBOs, putting signs in yards, printing flyers, putting up the lock boxes, getting the keys, going to closings, going to walkthroughs, going to home inspections for 6 years, actually. It was more than 5. That's all I did. And so the reason I'm sharing that is you have to become an expert in your field before you can lead others. Too often, the millennial mindset is, I deserve it because I've done 10 transactions. 10 transactions is nothing. Don't even think about leading anyone until you've done over 100. And then you're not tenured in real estate until you've done 1,000. And today I'm at 5,000 unit sales and $1 billion in sales. but you don't have to be that far along to start a team. So I'd say at 100 deals, you're at a point now where you could probably start leading others. At 1,000 deals, you probably have it figured out. So don't rush into all these ancillaries and this idea of expansion teams. Like I've had people come to my team building workshop, which is in Omaha every other month. And we do an investment workshop as well. So if anyone wants more information about that, just look up, I think it's jeffsworkshop.com. But you can find all this stuff at events at eliterealestatesystems.com. So people have come out to my workshop before, Aaron, and said, I want to build expansion teams. I'm like, oh, that's awesome. How many sales do you have in your own marketplace? I've never sold a house. I'm getting my license. What? You're already talking about expanding something that you've never created? You should only expand something that's proven itself in one place before you copy and paste it and put it in another. So,
yeah, it's the same advice I give people when they go, hey, who should I hire or how should I hire? When I started in real estate, I did every single part of that job. So listen carefully to rewind that part that Jeff just talked about. As he said, he did the signs, he did the everything. When I first started buying houses at auction, I drove the houses myself. I went and bid on the houses. I did the title work. I did the comping. I would go drill out the locks. I would do the title. Like, you have to do every part of that job so you know who to hire. And also when they come to you with questions, you know how to do it.
It creates clarity. You know what it means. You know what it looks like. You know what to expect. When people come in and ask, like, my partner used to do construction all through high school and college. So when we have a contractor come in and bid out a floor, we know if they're taking advantage of us. We know what the margin is. We know what the product is. We know what the process is of everything. For every business venture I told you that I've been in, I know exactly what to expect within each one, and or I partner with people that know. And that's just smart business. So for anyone listening, it's overwhelming. If I listen to someone where I am right when I got started, it would be overwhelming. I'd say, I want to do that, but what's my next step? So that's the perfect question, Aaron. And my answer is what I would say, and I'm going to say it again. Read more books, better, become a stronger leader, do more transactions, be focused on helping other people be the best versions of themselves. Don't make the focus money. Money comes and goes. Aaron's made a lot, I've made a lot, and a lot of it's gone. And it just is money. It's ones and zeros in a bank account. It's the way you live your life every day that defines your life. It's not the money in your bank account. So that would be my final thought to anyone listening is go change the lives of others. And by doing so, you'll change your own.
That is the biggest part right there. Well, we're out of time. So Jeff, 2 best books and where to find you.
Yeah. The One Thing by Gary Keller, focusing on that one thing in every aspect of your life is going to be a big one. For residential real estate agents, I think learning how to engage your SOI, your sphere of influence, is huge. And I really like the 7 Levels of Communication by Michael Mayer for that.
Awesome. And then
you can follow me.
Go ahead.
Yeah, follow me on Instagram. I'm out of Facebook friends. I think they only give you like 5,000. So I'm just Jeff M. Cohn. M as in Mark, Cohn on Insta. Just follow me there. And then you can follow our coaching website. We post tons of content every day. For example, I was at the Zillow headquarters all day yesterday, and I took like 100 pictures of Zillow. So if you want to check that out, it's really cool. They have like amazing rooms, like music room, video game room, yoga rooms. I took pictures of all this stuff. The day before, I was in the top virtual reality center in North America, in London, Ontario, Canada. And I posted a bunch of pictures of virtual reality. It's the future, 6 degrees of freedom. So we're putting a ton of research into that technology and incorporating a 20 by 20 holodeck in our new office build out this fall. And I call it a holodeck for fun for those Trekkies out there. It's just the virtual reality room, but it's pretty cool stuff.
That is awesome. All right, we're going to put all the links in the show notes, all of those different things like the business plan for the free gift. We'll get you back on Rebus to teach people how to wholesale. Jeff, so awesome catching up with you. We're going to have you on again in a few months. I want to, we never have enough time to tell people enough, and there's so much you could teach them out there. So thanks for coming on Real Estate Rockstars.
Thanks for having me on, man. I really appreciate it. Hope I could change somebody's life in some way.
Yeah, help others and you'll succeed.
I want you to think about the word toolbox. What is a toolbox? A toolbox is a box full of tools that you use to build something great. At Real Estate Rockstars, we've created our own free toolbox. So everybody that comes on the show as a guest brings a tool with them, and we plow them all into this toolbox, and we give it away for our viewing audience to basically use as they wish. Everything we put in there is an actionable item that can be downloaded, can be printed, can be used immediately. And we got things like scripts and dialogues, checklists for teams, checklists to keep agents accountable, referral forms that are filled out at settlement to get referrals by your buyers and sellers. Everything you can think of that you could use on a regular basis about real estate is included in this toolbox, and it's helping agents worldwide sell more houses and make their jobs a lot easier and processes much more efficient. And the thing is, it's absolutely free. All you got to do is go to hibandigital.com/toolbox or text the word toolbox to 444-999. That's toolbox 444-999. Do it now. Rockstar Nation, thank you for listening to Real Estate Rockstars. Listen, I need a favor. If you find this free content helpful, if you find our downloadable items from each guest helpful, please, I need you to pull out your pointing finger. Yes, the one finger that points at people, and hit subscribe. Yes, subscribe. The more subscribers we get, the better we look in the ratings, and the easier it is to get guests like Robert Kiyosaki, Barbara Corcoran, all the players that are on $1 Million listing in the different cities. All that stuff makes it easier the more subscribers we get, so please subscribe. And listen, there's a lot of places you can leave comments. There's a lot of places you can like. We're on Facebook. We have an Instagram page. Instagram page is I am Pat Hyben. The Facebook is Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Feel free to leave us comments there. The most popular form of commenting seems to happen on YouTube. Yes, for whatever reason, it's a very open environment. So just go to YouTube and go to Real Estate Rockstars Radio. Leave us comments there. Some of them we will read on the show. We love your feedback. So thanks, guys, and I hope you are having a great day. Oh, and also, listen, if you're going to subscribe and you haven't already left a review on iTunes, please do that too. Have a great day, and thanks so much, Rockstar Nation. I really appreciate you.